Hey guys, welcome to Let's Play the Ninja Warriors. This is a side-scrolling beat-em-up style game for the SNES. It's kind of along the lines of games like Final Fight and Streets of Rage. Although I don't know if it's quite as good as those games, it is still pretty good in its own right. The graphics are great, the music is very good. There's enough depth to the fighting moves in both your moves and the enemy's moves to keep it interesting through the whole game. There's a pretty decent variety of enemies, and they keep introducing them through the levels, even near the end of the game. And it's a decent length. It's kind of on the short side, but there's enough there to keep it good. And I'll just run over these three characters here, and then I'll get right into it. And basically, I'll be able to go into more depth about things in the second part, because the first stage is short in itself. But anyway, we have the ninja, who is the biggest and strongest character. And he's also the slowest. He weighs so much that he is just a big tub of lard. And I am not going to use him. I think in this game you need speed more than strength. Then you have the kunoichi. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing these right, so I apologize in advance. She's the main character, and she's average. She's also the shortest, so attacking the smallest enemies is pretty easy for her. And then you have the Kama Itachi, his name is translated to the Sickle Weasel, which is appropriate, I guess. It's a reference to some mythical creature. He has sickles on his arms, he's the fastest character, and he has the best range. And he definitely looks the coolest out of all of them. Now I'll just very quickly run over the story, just in case you didn't watch the intro video. Basically, there's this guy Banglar, who's pretty much a dictator. He's taken over one of the nations of the world. He has a stranglehold on the people, he's brainwashing them, he's inciting fear into the people, and it looks like he's ruling with an iron fist. This whole place is completely destroyed. It looks war-torn. So it is our job to depose him and save the people of whatever nation this is supposed to be. They never say which one it is. I know that Wikipedia says it's supposed to be the President of the United States, but I take whatever they put up on the wiki with a grain of salt. Anyway, you get some pretty standard moves. Now, the moves vary depending on which character you have, very slightly. The biggest thing that changes are the throw moves, which is one of the reasons I play as this character, and you'll see why when we get near the end of the game. But basically, they all have the basic punching or... well, the other two characters have weapons. You just use your sickles that are built onto your arms. And they can combo out into attacks depending on how many hit points the enemies have. You can jump, you can crawl on the ground, which is a very useful move. And you can block, which I also find very handy for the bosses. Like I said, the throws are very important in this game. And again, you'll see why later. Use it to your advantage as much as you possibly can. There are objects in the game you can pick up and throw. Like this crate here. These yellow crates usually have health inside of them. And of course I already get hurt. These small guys are the ones that are hard to take out. They're very easy for the female to take out. And basically she can get down and combo them with ease, and it's hard for the other two characters to do it because the enemies tend to jump all over the place. And it's not like that they're hard, it's just you kind of waste time fighting them. Or if you're in a big crowd of enemies and they come out of nowhere while you're fighting some of the big, stronger guys, it becomes a problem. The enemies are smart enough to know to attack you from behind, where in other fighting games, beat-em-up games, they might just stand there and wait for you to finish beating one enemy up before they come in to help. There are environmental hazards. You can see there are missiles coming in from the background here. It's the most common environmental hazard in the game, although there are other types, which you'll see later on. These guys with the guns... Oh, shoot. They do have a close-range attack, so be careful when you approach them. They can hit you with the butt of their gun like 3 times in a row and do some decent damage to you that way. I love the speed on this guy. It is great. You have these generic guys here with the knives. You'll run into them the most. In the easy, or not in the easy, but the normal setting, they tend to assist the bosses. And we're already at the first boss. Now this one, you'll see these bald guys. And the bald guys are pretty aggressive. They, I guess they're security guys or something, but... like most of the enemies, they can crouch and attack you. They can do a 3-hit combo. And they can throw you. A lot of the enemies have throws. And I'll explain why that is bad later. Because I don't really have time. By the time I'm done with this boss... wow. Usually this first boss is very easy, even on the hard setting. I usually don't take this much damage from him. In fact, on the normal setting, I can actually get through this without really taking any damage at all. Let's use our special move to finish him off. Alright, I will go in more depth about certain things in the second video. It might be longer than 10 minutes, so if I have to break it up, I'll put 2 parts up. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you guys in part 2.